Hello, hello, hello. Namaste, everybody. May I have your attention, please? We're going to start right at 2:59:59:01, which is 30 seconds left. So, so I welcome you all, and I'm not the MC, so don't be afraid. I'm going to introduce a beautiful young MC, Tina Khatri. So let's.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Good afternoon and namaste, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly an honor to serve as your MC today for this Shraddhanjali program, hosted by the Eternal Gandhi Museum of Houston, a place that holds a very special meaning for me. This is my third year being part of this beautiful annual remembrance, and it never loses its significance. I've had the privilege of serving as the general contractor and project manager with TDK Construction to bring this museum to life. And being part of its creation remains one of the most meaningful projects of my career. I'm honored to now also serve as a board member for my second year, continuing to support the museum's mission and legacy. Today, we gather to offer Shraddhanjali, a heartfelt tribute honoring Gandhiji's extraordinary life and enduring teachings. Our program will take us through cultural performances, music, and reflections from respected local voices, all inspired by values of peace, compassion, and service. We're grateful to have each of you here and encourage you to stay through the full program, which will conclude with more snacks and refreshments. Before we begin, I kindly ask everyone to silence their phones. Thank you. First, I'd like to introduce Reverend Mindy Lawrence Curtis. Reverend Mindy has been a friend and supporter of the Eternal Gandhi Museum since its very beginning. Her strong connection evolved originally through the Gandhi Library. As you likely know, the Gandhi Library provided the foundation of this amazing museum. And during the 6 years that Reverend Mindy lived in Pune, she dove deeper into the understanding of Gandhiji's principles and learned the many ways unity teachings overlapped. In Pune, she co-founded Unity School of India, an NGO which laid a solid future for many children in several different ways. Upon her return to ministry in Houston, in collaboration with the Gandhi Library, Reverend Mindy initiated the Wisdom of Gandhi classes at Unity of Houston, as well as nonviolent communication, dinner dialogue gatherings, and other activities. She has added her wisdom for decades to many of our ceremonies for beloved Gandhiji. Please welcome Reverend Mindy Lawrence Curtis to the stage. Yes.
Namaste, my friends. It is my privilege to be with you as we honor Mahatma Gandhi. Here, we continue to honor the difference his wisdom and his legacy have made in our lives and in our world. So with that, let us go within for a moment in the silence. You can choose to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. God of many names, creator of all good, our hearts are filled with so much gratitude as we gather in memory of Mahatma Gandhi. On this sacred site and far beyond, we affirm the ongoing consciousness of beloved Gandhiji and his spiritual principles of nonviolence, of the highest welfare for all, and for peace. At this time of diverse opinions, we apply these sacred principles. These principles continue to empower our lives. We affirm that the energy of peace radiates out to create a world that works for all, and we are grateful, and so it is. Amen. Namaste.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming here today. And now our first performance is of the students for Swar Sangam School of Music, taught by Ms. Srimati Srivastava. They will start with Vaishnav Janato, which is a Hindu bhajan written in the 15th century by poet Narsingh Mehta. Following this will be a medley of 2 patriotic songs by her 4 high school students. Please welcome.
These children are coming on this stage from the Unity Church Pyramid Hall. They started, these all four from the Unity Church Pyramid Hall said they started, and they are here since then.
Thank you so much for that beautiful performance. Please give them another round of applause. Representing Consul General of India, Houston's office, today is Deputy Consul Prashant Sona, who assumes charge as head of Chancery in 2024. He has been a big supporter of Eternal Gandhi Museum of Houston from the beginning, and he was instrumental in getting us the Gandhi statue from India. Please welcome.
Namaskar, good afternoon to all. It's nice to see such a vivid people around, distinguished people around on this occasion. Today we are here to celebrate Shraddhanjali, the death anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. As you know, in death is not something new. It's only the ultimate truth. So that day is not sad itself, but the way the apostle of peace was killed, violent way. This is the one thing that let us ponder, make it special, and make us ponder that why we should celebrate this day. Why should Gandhi be remembered even after so many years of his death? Because the situation has not changed. In fact, it is worsened. So this is a time to see that the polarization and all kind of hatred and all things that is happening around us locally, globally, are making Gandhi and his teachings more and more relevant today. And that's why the initiative likes this kind of celebration, and especially thanks to all those people who have thought creating this kind of facility, Eternal Gandhi Museum in Houston. I really appreciate, and during all my interaction, I'm very grateful to them as a government of India's representatives, and as an Indian citizen, that they are doing this kind of great service, bringing this message and getting the institution and a space where we all together can come and discuss the things and the visions and the values that are very relevant today. So it is the greatest service that all of you people are doing. And I, on behalf of myself and on behalf of Consulate General of India, I again appreciate and convey my thanks to all the board members and trustees of the EGMH for this wonderful job they are doing today. So I will not take much of time, but this is just to ponder that we should, the way the things are going worse, when the things go tough, only tough people can stay. So we have to be more tough to the challenges. And this is nice that we are doing this. EGM is doing so much activities, and we all should engage and make things, try to make things more peaceful, more harmonious. And it's just I've just mentioned that in this case, this yoga and meditation. Now we are celebrating World Yoga Day together, and we people accepting. Now we have started 21st December as a World Meditation Day. So these kind of things that values that resembles well with Gandhiji and all. So this kind of initiative we always welcome. And again, I like to thanks again to all the people who has created such a nice today's nice program and this nice beautiful museum. Normally, just my personal view, when we see the museum, it gives a very old things. You go in the very old, but this is such a fresh, such a modern, such a engaging. So this is such a way you have curated this museum and such a way you have created today's program. It's commendable. So thanks again for that. And I just want to convey my greetings from my Consul General's side, because you could not come, but he professionally told me to convey his greetings to all of you. And thanks to the EGMS board members for the great work they're doing. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much. Is Shreya here today? Yes, you, okay. All right, I would like to welcome Shreya to the stage. She was the second prize winner of the middle school speech competition, The Role of Youth in Promoting Peace. Please welcome Shreya.
Good afternoon, esteemed audience members. Today, I'm here in front of you to talk about the role of youth in promoting peace. As Mahatma Gandhi firmly said, strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. While we as the youth may be physically small, we have the will to promote peace in this world. In these tumultuous and unprecedented times, who is demanding change? It is the youth. It is a widespread presumption that the youth are glued to their phones and disconnected from society. I condemn this false narrative. Youth are now, more than ever, involved in current and global events and issues. I personally engage in meaningful and thought-provoking conversations on debates on current issues in our society with my friends. When youth are empowered and engaged, they become powerful drivers of peace and progress. Young people bring energy and innovation in creating a peaceful future. We are often at the forefront of worldwide peace movements, using technology and social media to mobilize communities and advocate for change. The youth empower and promote peace through social media by fostering online collaboration between organizations, the government, and society. Young social media influencers have a massive impact on their followers and viewers. We can create a multiplier effect that inspires the youth to become agents of positive change. With the right positive message and with a single hashtag, we can inspire millions across the globe to be inclusive and to promote peace. The UN Security Council Resolution 2250 on youth, peace, and security recognized young people's positive and significant role in peace. This proves that the youth's contributions are not minuscule by any way, and that we have a strong will to advocate for peace. Youth come from that indomitable will. Malala Yousafzai was shot by the Taliban in Pakistan at the age of 15. She survived the attack and to go on to become a global symbol of peaceful protest and the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate. We can also take Greta Thunberg as an example of youth with a resounding will. Greta stands for climate justice and a greener world. She addressed the UN's climate summit at just 16 years of age. With 14 million followers on Instagram, she has inspired millions of young people to stand up for the lack of action on climate change with her Fridays for Future campaign. She was able to spread the word to the masses with her hashtag Fridays for Future. resulting in 1.4 million school children taking part in one of her biggest protests in Germany. Alea Eastman was in one of the classrooms that a gunman attacked in Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. She protected herself from the killer under her friend's dead body. Now on the executive board of Team Enough, the youth-led initiative that educates young people to end gun violence. Alea is a voice to end gun violence that the youth are forced to face at schools. But we, as the youth, don't have to speak at the UN or before Congress to make a difference. Even efforts at the school and community level can promote peace. Petitions to crack down at bullying at your school is a huge step in the right direction. Programs that promote conflict resolution and saying no all promote peace. Another way the youth have been expressing peace themes is through art. Youth are not only using art as a way to express themselves, but they're also using this platform to bring equality and diversity to the center stage using their artistic talents. The youth are the leaders, the activists, and the catalysts for change. We should build up our young leaders by supporting their initiatives and campaigns to promote peace. Youth are regarded as the future of this world. While this may be true, we are also the present. As a representative of today's youth, I thank the Eternal Gandhi Museum for giving me this forum for discussion, to remind myself of the vital role I play in building and sustaining peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shreya. That was a wonderful speech, very inspirational as well. Now, I'd like to introduce Basmati Beats, Rice University's premier South Asian a cappella group. Basmati Beats specialize in mashups between South Asian and Western music, fusing both styles into one unique art form. The team is competitive and participates in the Association of South Asian a cappella competition circuit. In the past, they've competed in cities all around the nation, including Austin, Los Angeles, and Iowa City. Today, they're excited to share their music and be here with you all. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, and we're very honored to be here to sing for you. As mentioned, we are from Rice University, and today we will be singing 3 different arrangements for you. All of them have been written by either past or current members of our team. The very first one we'd like to sing is called English Notes, and we wanted to give you a bit of background on our songs before we sing them. So this was actually written to mimic a waltz, but we sing, so if you guys know what solfege is, do, re, mi, fa, so, these are done in swarams, which are the Carnatic version of that. And so the tune is supposed to mimic a waltz, an English waltz, sort of, but we're singing them in with Carnatic swarams to sort of show you the bridge and the harmony that can come between 2 worlds that normally we view as very different. We hope you enjoy.
Ramagariga pariga sa ni sa ni da ni sa la pa ni sa ni da ni sa la pa ma ga pa sa ni da ga ma da pa sa ga ma da ma di da da pa ma ga pa sa ni da ga ma da ma sa ga ma da ma di da Sa ni sa ri sa ni pa ni da ni sa la ma sa ni ga ri sa ni da pa ma ga ma ga pa isa pa Isa pa ga pa Lisa, Dini sari dani ri sa la sorry sari sa sa sa
Okay, thank you so much. So our next arrangement will be Man Mandira. It's quite a famous song, so you may have heard it already, but we're doing our interpretation of it. Man Mandira directly translates to Temple of the Mind. And so here, we hope that when you listen to the song and you hear the arrangements and the different voice parts blending together, you feel at peace. As we all know, Gandhi stood for peace, but not just peace between other people, but peace with your inner self and your mind and your companions. So we hope this arrangement sort of showcases that mentality to you all.
मन मंदिरा ते जाने हो मन मंदिरा ते जाने उजळून साधका मन मंदिरा तळहाताचा रेशानी सहज सुखाचा भोगे कोणी तळहाताचा रेशानी सहज सुखाचा भोगे कोणी स्वयं प्रकाशी तू तारा चैतन्याच्या गाभारा परपंखातून स्वप्न उजाचे ते गे रे आकरा उजळून गे साधका मन मंदिरा हे जाणे उजळून गे साधका मन मंदिरा mama pa mama pa mama pa mama pa mapani da pa mayari sani sa nini sa nini sa mama pa mapani da pa mama pa mapani da pa pani sa re pani sa sa pani da pa Riga riga risa, nisa risa nisa rima ga risa nisa rima pa nisa pa nisa pa nisa re 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 sa sa ni ni ma pa ni ni sa. ಉಸಳೊನಗೆ ಸಾಧಕ ಮನ ಮಂದಿರ ಜಾನೆ ಉಸಳೊನಗೆ ಸಾಧಕ ಮನ ಮಂದಿರ ಮನ ಮಂದಿರ ಮನ ಮಂದಿರ.
Okay, and our final arrangement will actually be something that we took to competition last year. We were lucky enough to travel to Austin to perform, and this is a mashup of two different languages. So the first song is called Ratamare, which is in Tamil. The second is called Sarada Saradaga, which is in Telugu. And as you all know, a big part of the Gandhi Museum and sort of the mentality he preached was to bridge different communities together. And that's something that we also try to do with our arrangements. So the Tamil song we will be singing speaks about family. Ratam actually translates to blood in Tamil. And Sarada Saradaga is known as sort of a fun phrase in Telugu. And while the first Tamil song can seem a little bit heavy at first, as the melody of Sarada Saradaga sort of imbues and takes over the arrangement, the two come together to form a harmony to sort of showcase, how families can be up and down and your relationships with people can be up and down. But if you work together, ultimately, despite where you come from, your communities and everything, you can bridge and find that inner peace and harmony with one another.
My bad.
Ratamare, 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 mutamare, ratamare, mutamare, ratamare, pettadare, unna pettadare, katikure, makamare, mutamare, mutamare, ratamare.
ఎగిరే స్వప్నాలే మనం మనదే కదా గగనం సిరివెన్నెలలో తడిసే గువలం చిరునవ్వులలో చననం ఇది చాలే ఇంతే చాలే ఇదిలా నిత్యం ఉంటే చాలే ఈ నూరేళ్ళిలా మారే వేయేలుగా ఊపిరిలో సుమగంధాలే సరదా సరదాగా సాగిరగా మనసు మనసు దూరాయే
தலைமுறை தாண்டி நிற்கும் தந்தை மகன் கூட்டணியின் வெற்றி கதைகள் 100 நித்தம் கேட்கின்றேன். சிங்கம் பெற்ற பிள்ளை என்று ஊரே சொல்லும் ஆசையோடு பொய்யாரமாக வீசும் வீடு அமைவது அழகு அதிசயம் அற்புதம் அதுவே அமைத்து புதவா
సాగిరగా దూరాయే
மகனே
ఆనందమే అరచేతుల వాలెందిలా పసిపాపల ఒక గుండెలో మురిపెమంతా బంధించేదిలా కరిగియావా నవ్విల్లేలా రంగుల్లో ముంచెత్తగా ఏ చిత్రమే కుంచలైన చిత్రించేదెలా వీరమా
Thank you so much. Again, we are Basmati Beats from Rice University, and a very warm thanks to the museum for hosting us and having us back. Thank you all for coming.
Wow. Wow, thank you so much. What a captivating and unique performance. I was truly amazed. Please give them another round of applause. Now, I'd like to invite Dr. Sulik C. Jain. He's the past secretary and president of JAINA, an apex body of all Jains in North America, founder and co-founder of several Jain institutions, centers, and programs, member of the Gandhi Library here from its beginning, recipient of Jaina Ratna Award, promoter of programs in Jain academic education in nearly 50 universities, co-founder of International School of Jain Studies in India, and author of many Jain and technical books, papers, and 9 US technical patents. He is joining us here today from Las Vegas after living in Houston for almost 25 years. Welcome back.
I'll get you one.
Wow, what a great program. What a great beginning. Beautiful music. Namaskar, Pranam, Jai Jinendra. I'm here, whatever introduction she gave, I think she was talking about not me, about somebody else. Here I am. I never left Houston because Houston never left me. I spent 25 years right here, and my son lives here, so I come here quite often. So I'm part of Houston. Let me share with you what Gandhi means to me, how it has affected my life, how it has guided my journey of life all these years. May I ask here in the audience, how many people are here who were alive when Gandhi was still alive, who were born when Gandhi was still alive? I know one, my brother, Mota Bhai. There are few there. Thank you. I was 11 years old when Gandhi was assassinated. Okay. I saw him few years before that when the train passed through my town. He came out and we waved at probably maybe 8 or 9 years old. So that's the only, in a way, I can brag about it that I saw him. Before independence, there used to be a lot of processions every day in every towns and cities of India, okay, for independence. Gandhi has started a movement, Quit India movement. So every day procession will be there. And as a young kid of 5, 6, 7 years old, When 100 people are marching, I will join in that crowd as well. There used to be a lot of slogans. And thereby I remember one, if you, खरा रुपया चांदी का, राज महात्मा गांधी का. There were hundreds of slogans like that. I just remember after all these years. So Gandhi was part of our growing up. Gandhi was part of what we were being, becoming. In high school, most of my teachers, because they were born in that time period, they were Gandhian. They will talk about Gandhi. And naturally, when your teachers are talking, when outside Gandhi, it affects you very much. It becomes part of your life. Okay? So Gandhi became a mentor and a guide, and somebody who has guided my journey of life. And let me share that with you, few of those, how Gandhi, what are the moments that affected my life. By the way, this is not a speech. I'm just sharing my own inner journey. I read his book when I was in high school, My Experiment with Truth. And after that, I probably have read 3-4 times. Every time it's a different revelation. If you walk with me in that book, when Gandhi was about to leave from South Africa to come back to India, there is a chapter. And in that book, Gandhi had been given a lot of presents, mostly golden presents, gold presents, all of these, by the Indian community over there in South Africa over the last 10, 12 years. So he had a big collection of those. And the question arose, this is in the book, what should we do about all those golden presents that have been given, jewelry, okay? And he went to his wife, I want to donate these do not belong to us. These belong to the community who gave. I want to donate that. And Gandhi's wife, Kasturba, was start pleading, no, I will give them to my children when they get married, and all of those things that Indian women do, all of us, okay? So there was a lot of discussions within the family, okay, given back and forth. And finally, Gandhi was able to convince his wife and his children that these belong to the community, not to us, okay? That is one chapter. 50 years ago, in 1976, for the first time, I come from, by the way, from New Delhi, India, in that part. I went to Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad, first time. And as I entered the Sabarmati Ashram, there was a very big board over there, right in the entrance. And the entrance, those big boards, those billboards change probably so many times. That time, it was, what is a trustee? The definition of a trustee. The example is given that when Gandhi was living there, along with his wife, his 4 children, they were attending colleges and universities and other places. During summer, they will come there to spend time with their parents, and they will go back after 6 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever it is. Gandhi will sit down and make a bill. During this period, how many meals they ate here, how much electricity was used, how much water was used, what is the expense. He will make a bill, go to his wife, deposit this money into the foundation account. Okay. By the way, you will ask me, where did Gandhi get the money? From his books, Royalty Small. Okay. So Kasturba will again argue, we do so much work for the community. Our children cannot come and eat here. It's very simple. Gandhi said, Kasturba, madam, this place, this ashram, and the money we collect is not for your children. This is for the purpose. When I go out and ask for money, I ask for this ashram, not for my upbringing and my children and all of that. So he will deposit. These 2 incidents, one from South Africa, another one, when I read this, I said, wow, this is what trusteeship means. Okay. So what happened to me? As she mentioned, I've been involved in at least a dozen organizations. Okay, this is a little bit of ego trip on my part, but I want to share. I've been involved at least a dozen organizations, and naturally, I have been trustee, either sole trustee or member of the trustee board. So what does that mean? Along with Gandhi's, learning from Gandhi, I say every money that comes in that, I am the trustee. People have put a trust on me. I'm not the owner of that money. That money is very sacred. Okay? This is to be used for that very purpose. I should not lose that trust. Okay? So that became my life journey. So let me share again a little bit going further. Since I've been involved, and as Dr. N. Chow knows, I've been involved with a lot of academic education in many universities. Okay. 10 years ago, we established a chair at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. Very reasonably, very prestigious Jesuit school. There we raised money, $1 million. Okay, and the professor was appointed, is functioning. About 10 years ago, some officer of Loyola Marymount University called me that Dr. Jain, we want to invite you to give a keynote speech. Okay, I said, well, great, that's an honor. We will pay you honorarium and we will pay you airfare and boarding and lodging. Naturally, it's a very great honor. Quickly, I said, where is this money coming from? Okay, who is paying for it? He said, this money will be coming from the money, from the trust foundation or endowment that we created. I said, my friend, that money was created for the chair, not for Sulekh Jain. Okay, I will not take a single penny, even though there was a temptation was there. Okay, so where it come from? From that Gandhiji. Okay, so with that, this has been the journey of my life, and over these years, one more lesson that I learned, that I've been involved at least about 50 chairs and professorships and lecturerships in many, many universities, around 50 of them probably. And we collected for this $55 million from the Jain community. Okay, $55 million. Okay. When we were collecting that money, one guiding principle, we are just like we established 3 months ago at Rice University, also $3 million chair. One guiding principle that the chairs we are establishing are for non-violence, for teaching, study, living by non-violence. What kind of money we should accept for those if we are creating a chair to teach non-violence? Should we take money that's been generated by any means, whether it is kosher or non-kosher, whether himsak or non-himsak? We guided all of us, we said, we will not take a single penny that has been generated by himsa, by violence. And that's the money we have kept, and that's the promise. Knowingly, we have not, okay? So this is what Gandhi's journey has been to me. And Gandhi has been my mentor. Gandhi has been my guru. Gandhi has been my teacher. And the word over there is Shraddhanjali. It's a Sanskrit word or a Hindi word, okay? There are two words combined. Shraddha, Anjali. Shraddha, Anjali. Shraddha means paying homage. Shraddha means paying respect. Anjali means with folded hands. Last word is Anjali, I'm sure in the word, no, folded hand. So my brothers and sisters, with folded hands, I pay my respect and bow in reverence to my Guru, Mahatma Gandhi, who gave me so much. Thank you, Jai Hind. And now I have been given a very difficult task. And the task is to present to you, to introduce to you, before you, a very dear friend of mine, will be next speaker. That dear friend of mine, sitting right there, is Dr. N. Chow. Okay. And this task that was given to me this morning, I went, even though I have known her, I went on Google, I went on ChatGPT. How do I introduce a friend like that? There are hundreds of pages written about Dr. N. Chow. Okay, I cannot do that, otherwise it will be next 3 hours. So I said I will talk something which is not on Google, which is not on ChatGPT. Okay, let me share that with you first of all. First of all, Anne has a significant bond with India. Okay, her father, he did a PhD from Banaras Hindu University in Varanasi. Okay, and they're sitting behind you, and there is this Dr. Bansal, who is also went to the same school. Okay, right there, just behind you. Okay, so it's a very premier institute. Your father went there. You are a Buddhist, practicing Buddhist, if I'm, okay? And that is born in India. Jainism is the birth, India is the birthplace of Buddhism. Okay, another bond. Now, your father became ambassador to Australia. Okay, you spent a lot of time growing up in Australia, and of course, most of your life here in USA. Okay, so this is what N. Chow is. And we are sitting here in Eternal Gandhi Museum, okay, which I cannot, is not a museum. It's a place of reformation. It's a place of change. It's a place of transformation, not a showplace. So when I say N. Chow and Eternal Gandhi Museum, they are the two names of the same thing. She made it happen. Okay. Okay. Honestly, this museum will not be without her. Okay. And let me just share with you how all this happened little bit. Even again, I take little credit, but very small. And 10 years ago, because of our help, we established the first Bhagwan Mahavir postdoctoral fellowship in Jain studies at Rice University 10 years ago. And the Chow Family Foundation gave $250,000. Okay. And of course, we Jain contributed 1 for 1. We also raised $250,000. We used to have several meetings with the dean, and Dr. N. Chow will always come. Always meet, very humble, okay. In one of those meetings, I introduced her to Atul Kothari. Okay. Atul Kothari is a dreamer, a visionary. He never thinks, So he worked with N. Chow, and this is what all this beautiful places. So N. Chow, we are owe to you to make this happen. Okay. The seed that she started, or Jain, by the way, Jainism and non-violence are two names of the same thing. Okay. You can call Jainism you can call non-violenceism. Okay. So because of that journey that we started quickly, only 3 months ago, with $3 million, we established the first endowed chair or professorship at Rice University in Jain Studies. And I keep on saying Jain, 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 but it is in non-violence. Okay. And you will be all, this will be the first chair to any Indian religion or Indic religion at Rice University. It will be the chair. Okay. And Thank you, thank you. And has a BA from Boston, Wellesley College. You are also on the board. Okay, very prestigious college. And then MA and PhD from Rice University. You teach there, you are a professor there, okay? Adjunct professor in the humanities department. And what can I go on other than just say, my friend, come here, and I want to invite you and address the gathering. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Selekjan. That was over the top introduction. And I wish I had a lot to do with the museum, but the museum speaks for itself. Thank you so much. Well, good afternoon, everybody, dear members of the board of the Eternal Gandhi Museum, ladies and gentlemen. It is such an honor to be invited to attend the 78th anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi's martyrdom and to say a few words to mark this most important occasion. I want to congratulate Mr. Atul Kotari and members of the board of the museum for your amazing achievement. As Dr. Selekjan said, I first learned about this museum in 2017 when we interviewed Dr. Selekjan at Rice University for the Houston Asian American Archive. Today, almost 9 or 10 years later, the museum has been built. The messages of nonviolence and truth are being transmitted to our school children and the wider Houston community. The need to hear these messages has never been more important. And as Dr. Selekjan said, ever since I was a child, I've been very enamored of Indian civilization. My father got his PhD at Benares Hindu University in 1947 with a dissertation comparing Confucius and Tagore. He would regale us with stories of his graduate student days touring India on a bicycle. On one of those trips, he fell and injured himself very badly. And a kind Indian family, total strangers, took him in and nursed him back to health. So India, therefore, holds a very special place in my heart. With his PhD from Benares, my father went on to have a successful career in the Chinese civil service, first becoming the English secretary to the then President Chiang Kai-shek, and then later leading several diplomatic missions around the world. Imagine my delight to learn that Mahatma Gandhi had made a speech on the occasion of the opening of the Benares Hindu University in 1916, some 30 years before my father studied there. In his speech, Gandhi focused on the contrast between the lifestyle of the richest members of society and the poorest, and predicted India's salvation would only come by lifting the peasants out of poverty. It was a controversial speech because many of his supporters were from the middle and the wealthy classes in India. But heroes like Mahatma Gandhi and other individuals whose efforts changed the course of the nation's history do not shy away from controversy. In fact, they welcome the opportunity to draw attention to serious social and political problems that many people prefer not to think about. In preparation for today's talk, I looked at the lives of Mahatma Gandhi and another great hero championed by the museum, Nelson Mandela, trying to understand what made these two men tick. While our focus today is primarily on Gandhi, it is perhaps worth noting certain commonalities in the backgrounds, ideas, and behavior of these two great men, which propelled them into actions that ultimately toppled a regime. Gandhi was born in 1869 to a merchant family with a long tradition of service to the rulers of Kathiawar, as his father and grandfather all served as diwans, chief ministers and advisors to local states. Interestingly, which may help understand his actions later on, there existed practices of protest in the culture whereby self-suffering was one way to enforce the payment of debt or to highlight injustices inflicted by rulers. He then went to London to become a lawyer as a way to help improve his family's financial circumstances, and eventually started a law practice in South Africa. 51 years later, Nelson Mandela was born into a high-ranking family of Xhosa-speaking Tembu chieftain in South Africa. Well-educated and self-regarded as a Black Englishman, Mandela also became a lawyer. In both men's upbringing, a sense of power to rule in their own milieu was instilled from early on. For both Gandhi and Mandela, the shock of racial discrimination hit home when they moved to large cities in South Africa. For Gandhi, being kicked out of a first-class train on his way from Durban to Pretoria, despite holding a first-class ticket, and eventually being called a Sammy and forced to sit on the footboard of a stagecoach was a life-changing moment. For Mandela, going to Johannesburg and witnessing thousands of indignities every day caused his political awakening. While Gandhi's friends in South Africa advised him to pocket the insults, he refused and began his mission to fight against racism and injustice. His South African years from 1893 to 1914 deepened his understanding of Hinduism and sharpened his sense of Indian nationalism. But most important of all, they launched his ideals of Satyagraha, the force which is born of truth, love, and nonviolence, and shaped his program of peaceful civil disobedience. During those years, Gandhi read John Ruskin, Henry David Thoreau, corresponded with Tolstoy, and set up a Tolstoy farm. He also took a vow of celibacy and changed his appearance from a dapper urban lawyer to that of an Indian kafir or an ascetic. It was to indicate his renunciation of Western civilization and to follow the way of Buddha. He dedicated his life to the service of his fellow men, and then by the time he returned to India, Tagore called him Mahatma, or a holy person. He became known as champion of the poor and the leader of the peasants. In 1909, Gandhi wrote Hind Swaraj, his only political manifesto, in which he called for Indians to gain freedom by renouncing modern technology and its dehumanizing effects. He wanted India's villages to return to their pre-colonial state of self-sufficiency. Rejecting a constitutional path, Gandhi called for personal self-sacrifice and a willingness to suffer for a righteous cause. He launched a constructive program by using the revival of hand spinning and other cottage industries. In the hope of realizing Hindu-Muslim cooperation, the removal of untouchability, better conditions for women, and basic education for all villagers, the spinning wheel, the charka, became a powerful symbol of his campaign. He wore a loincloth as a penance to atone for the slow progress of the khadi the spun cloth was making among the people. Under the broad theme of Satyagraha, Gandhi deployed different tactics to achieve his goals. Fasting, which he sometimes would decide to fast unto death, had many intentions. It is used to express his deep sense of sorrow at the conduct of those he cared for, to atone for the sins of others, and to try to bring quarreling parties together. He organized peaceful marches on a massive scale to force British government to come to terms with his demands. The 1930 Salt March began with 78 carefully chosen supporters. They walked 241 miles in 24 days. Gandhi was arrested, but the British government made some concessions on the tax salt at the end of the march. In 1947, as violence of partition raged around the country, he marched for 7 weeks at great personal danger through communities torn apart by bloodshed and called for peace. He was assassinated on January 30th, 1948. Gandhi's martyrdom helped quell the violence and restore Hindu-Muslim harmony, and the strategy of the Satyagraha helped topple the British rule. Mandela, for his part, became leader of the African National Congress's Youth League, which was one of the most important political organizations in South Africa after World War II. Collaborating with many activists who had also worked with Gandhi, in 1949, the ANCYL launched a program of action that deployed Gandhian tactics such as boycotts, civil disobedience, peaceful marches, and non-cooperation. In 1952, Mandela helped launch the Defiance campaign, modeled after Gandhi's passive resistance and civil disobedience, which was a protest against European fascism.
Crowds across South Africa marched peacefully and defied apartheid laws. The success of the campaign gave Mandela national prominence as a freedom fighter. However, realizing that Gandhi's method of passive non-resistance did not work in South Africa, Mandela worked with a coalition of resistance fighters, Indians, white communists, and others to create a sabotage group. But when he was captured and put on trial, Mandela declared, "I have dedicated myself to this struggle of the African people. I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against Black domination. I have cherished the ideal of the democratic free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. If needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." Arrested in 1962 for conspiring to overthrow the state, Mandela spent 27 years in prison before being released in 1990. In jail, he would stage nonviolent protests at the injustice of the prison system. Black prisoners were treated much worse than prisoners of other skin color. Mandela urged prisoners not to call their jailers masters and to walk slowly in response to the jailer's command to move faster. After his release from prison in 1990, he negotiated with the then President de Klerk to abolish apartheid, and in 1994, he became president of South Africa. He launched the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in 1996 because he believed that the country needed to recognize the wrongs of the past in order to live in harmony moving forward. After one term as president, he stepped down and devoted his energies to eradicating AIDS and the advancement of children's welfare. He died in 2013. Compassion, dignity, and personal courage are the emblems of both Gandhi and Mandela. They refused to pocket the insults that were directed at them. And at a great personal peril, they acted on the conviction that all human beings deserve to be treated with justice and respect. Their methods were not only extraordinarily effective, but also astonishingly brave. And speaking of personal bravery, I'd like to end with the story of a woman we interviewed at Rice for our archive last year. Annie Phuong Vu was born in the mountains of Vietnam as a member of the Hmong ethnicity. She lost her father and lived with her ailing mother and her 13-year-old sister, who already had 2 children. There were often no food in the house. Annie learned to cross over the border to China at age 10 to bring goods to Vietnam and sell them, to buy medicine for her mom and food to feed everyone. Then her sister died, and Annie by then also had a daughter at age 13. Life was extremely hard. In 2006, Annie learned of a poverty relief program advertised by the Vietnamese government. If she paid the government $2,000 US, the government would send her to Jordan to work in a factory that will pay $3,400 a month. So Annie sold the land of her home and went to Jordan with 278 other girls. The job was in a factory owned by the Chinese. And at first, they worked overtime and happily thought that this meant that they would get more paid. But by the time they were paid, the owners gave them only a few dollars per day. She confronted the owners and gave them asked about the rest of the wages. The owners replied that this was all they were willing to pay and that all the other girls were fine with it. The girls were at the mercy of the owners who had confiscated their passports. Annie refused to go back to work and persuaded all 278 girls to go on strike. After 3 days, the owners sent in ruffians to beat them up, and one of her friends actually died from the beating. Still, Annie and her fellow workers refused to return to work. The owners then tried to starve them. Fortunately, before Annie left Vietnam, she heard of an organization called Boat People SOS in the US that helped Vietnamese refugees in trouble. She copied the phone number of the director, and at that point, she called the director and explained her plight. The director, Mr. Nguyen Dinh Thanh, sent money to the girls so they could buy food. Meanwhile, the Vietnamese diplomats in Jordan decided to send Annie and her troublemaker friends back to Vietnam to face punishment. Knowing that if she went back to Vietnam, she would either be jailed or even meet worse fate, Annie tried to figure out what to do. She called Mr. Tan again, and he told her that when she went to the airport to wear many jackets and try to figure out where her layover stops were before Vietnam. At the airport, she learned that she was going to be flying to Thailand before she landed in Vietnam. Mr. Tan told her that the minute she got to the Thailand airport, to quickly find somebody to help her get out of the airport, and someone at Boat People SOS would be waiting for her. When Annie landed in Thailand, out of desperation, she didn't know how to get out of the airport. She ran into the men's bathroom. There she found 3 Chinese businessmen, and because she spoke Chinese, explained to them her plight. One of the Chinese men put his hat on her head, asked her to take off one of the jackets, put a scarf on her, put his hand around her shoulder, and walked her out of the airport. And Annie felt very bad that she could not take her friends who were also going back to Vietnam with her. Outside the airport, someone from Boat People SOS was there, whisked her to safety, and kept her in hiding for 3 years. And finally, she got an asylum status to the US, and today she is in Houston. She's working as a dental assistant, and on her spare weekend, she would go to a Vietnamese nursing home and help the Vietnamese people there. Yeah. So, while her actions may not be on the epic scale of Gandhi's heroism, which we are celebrating today, Annie Phong, like Gandhi and Mandela, had the courage to stand up to injustice by organizing a strike. And she continues to work for meaningful change. She has, for example, testified in Congress on the problem of human trafficking. So I believe each one of us has the desire and the capacity to stand up to injustice. And the Eternal Gandhi Museum is a perfect place to remind us of the need to be champions of human dignity and compassion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ann Chow, for such a thoughtful and inspiring talk. I actually had the pleasure of first meeting you at the grand opening at the Eternal Gandhi Museum in October 2022. And I still remember how you generously invited me to visit the Houston Asian American Archive at the Rice University. And I was really impressed by your passion for preserving our community stories and history. So we're truly grateful to have you with us today and being our keynote speaker. Please give another round of applause for Dr. Ann Chow. And now I would like to introduce the students of MECA, which stands for Multicultural Education and Counseling Through the Arts. They'll be performing a few international folk dances, and their performances celebrate cultural diversity, unity, and peace, and align beautifully with the principles of nonviolence and harmony represented by this event. So please welcome MECA to the stage.
Ay, qué bonito es bailar. Ay, qué bonita, bailando. Es un lindo, lindo, es un ritmo sabrosón que se baila con estilo de la bamba y el danzón. Es un vestido bonito, es un ritmo sabrosón, que se baila con estilo de la bamba y el danzón. Ay, repita, pica, pica, repite, repiqueteando. Qué bonitas todas las que están bailando. Tilín, tilín, tilín. Ay, colota. Qué bonitas, qué bonitas. Sí, sí, seguro que sí. Ay, no. Ay, qué bonito es bailar. Lindo, lindo, pero puedes zapatear, tanto chino como el gringo. Ay, qué bonito es bailar. Son lindo, lindo, pero pueden zapatear. Ay,
Y el que andaba en el campo me encontré con el Eterno. Me dijo que el que no cante y baile se va a ir al infierno. Como yo sé ver profundo, suelo ver la realidad. Veo dar vueltas a este mundo y muy triste a la humanidad. Sufre, pide y llora porque está perdida. No sabe de dónde viene y a dónde va. Al conejo Vargas y Vivian le dijeron algo en Dios. Vamos a hacer un mariachi del cual saldrán más de dos. ¡Ay, mariachi! Quiero verles tristes, yo quiero verles alegres. No quiero verles sufriendo contentos, yo quiero verles. Yo no quiero que me pidan porque todo les he dado. Quiero que canten y bailen porque así estoy a su lado. Pedir no es bueno, dar sí. Quiero que cante y baile todo aquel que cree en mí. La música viene del cielo y la canción viene del hombre. La alegría nace del suelo. Y mariachi tiene por ay, Michoacán de mis amores, cómo te quiero. Vamos, ven. Hola, tequila, como tú sabes cansado. Pelado. Nos vamos a Pueblo Nuevo. Y que es tan divina que a la gente enferma sana. La gente cuando está sana canta y baila más cuando ama. Todo lo que hay en la vida es por causa y por efecto. Miren, la naturaleza no tiene ningún defecto. Iguales en cada hombre, en cada ser en este mundo. Nunca sufra, nunca llore y que la vida es un segundo.
Wow, what a beautiful set of performances. Some more? I love how we incorporated some other multicultural dances and people to this program because I think it makes it really special and unique. So give them another round of applause. Now, it's truly my pleasure to introduce one of the co-founders and a pioneer of the vision behind the Eternal Gandhi Museum of Houston, as well as a valued member of our board of trustees. I've had the privilege of working closely with him. His leadership, foresight, and dedication have been instrumental in bringing the museum to life, and it's guided its growth. Please welcome Dr. Manish Wani to the stage. And real quick, before he speaks, I just wanted to, from me and all the board, wanted to wish Manish and his wife, Anjali, congratulations. They just got married last weekend in Mexico City. So congratulations. Congratulations.
You know, we just left Mexico City on Tuesday, but it didn't leave us. I mean, we're back partying. Namaste, good afternoon. Let me start with the universal prayer. We pray to the God of Sat, truth, to give us the boon of ahimsa in mind, word, and deed. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share just a brief update on the journey of the Eternal Gandhi Museum of Houston from its inception to where we stand today. You know, the Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston was born from a simple but powerful vision, a world where conflicts are resolved by nonviolent means. This was just not a statement that we have displayed on our wall, but it was and remains a call to action. Our mission has been equally clear: to cultivate the universal values of truth, nonviolence, love, peace, and service through education and community dialogue, and to encourage visitors to the museum to embrace these values in their own lives. From the very beginning, the dream was not just to build a museum, but to create a living institution, one that educates, challenges, inspires, and engages across all generations. We officially opened our doors on October 2nd of 2023. This was Gandhi Jayanti. We were graced with the presence of, among many other dignitaries, Gandhiji's grandson, Dr. Raj Mohan Gandhi, and also Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s nephew, Mr. Isaac Newton Ferris, who's the president of the King Center in America. Since inception, our museum has stood as a center for education, a platform for dialogue, a space for quiet reflection, and really a bridge between Gandhi's life and the challenges of our modern world. Now, one of the most meaningful measures of our progress has been our community engagement. And since opening, the museum has welcomed over 10,000 visitors from Houston and beyond. And as one visitor early on pointed out, if you want to explore outer space, go to NASA. But if you really want to explore inner space, go to the Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston. And hopefully you've seen the museum and walked through the exhibits and are engaged with ideas like, what does nonviolence look like today? How do truth and moral courage apply in our daily lives? And how can dialogue replace division? These questions are at the heart of Gandhi's message, and they are being explored every single day in the museum. We have had 23 school field trips that have brought over almost 1,300 students. These curriculum-based tours are available for students in grades 6 through 12 and are aligned with Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, also known as TEKS. Our goal is to have every student from the greater Houston metropolitan area visit the museum at least once before they graduate and make a personal connection to Gandhi's teachings and see themselves as change makers. We've also had 45 adult group tours from various communities and organizations. Next slide. In 2024, EGMH received the prestigious Silver Telly Award for the creative 6-minute film featured in our Force More Powerful Theater. And this is a national award. We were also recognized by India Association of Minnesota with the Mahatma Gandhi Vision Award. And this recognition was deeply meaningful, not as an endpoint, but as validation that the work being done here does matter. Our growth has been strengthened by meaningful programs and distinguished voices. Last October, we celebrated Gandhi Jayanti with our 20th annual 1,000 Lights for Peace program and our Walk for Peace. This is reaffirming our commitment to keeping Gandhi's legacy alive year after year. Last September, we hosted a historic program hosting Nobel Peace Prize winner Mr. Kailash Satyarthi and 3-time Grammy Award winner Mr. Ricky Cage as we got an inside look in their newly released album, Gandhi, Mantras of Compassion. We unveiled our newest exhibit in the Our Journey Gallery featuring Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, who received the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014 alongside with Malala Yousafzai for his lifelong fight against child labor and exploitation. EGMH has also hosted over 88 participants in its 4th annual Swing for Peace golf tournament last October. And this was at the Willow Fork Country Club in Katy, Texas. Again, blending community engagement with purposeful fundraising. Just a few weeks ago, Professor Vinay Lal from UCLA hosted a program called Salt on the Lion's Tail. His lecture offered deep historical and moral perspectives on Gandhi's life and global impact. Every 3rd Sunday of the month, the museum hosts Walking the Path of Peace using yoga and sound meditation, connecting Gandhi's philosophy to inner peace and well-being. Just some upcoming events to tell you about. We will be holding our 3rd annual Pedal for Peace. This is a 20, 40, or 56-mile ride that actually starts at our parking lot here at the museum. And registration is open and online. We have Professor Vina Howard coming from the Department of Philosophy at California State University in Fresno. And she will be hosting a lecture on March 7th called Gandhi and America, a story of an unexpected moral alliance. And on March 28th, through storytelling and reflection, the museum will host a program on Kasturba, offering a rare glimpse into the woman behind the Mahatma and the moral force she embedded. So as you can see through these programs, the museum has evolved into a dynamic center for learning and dialogue. The Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston can only remain a living institution if it is carried forward by the community it serves. If Gandhi's message speaks to you through your time, your talents, and/or your resources, please do walk this path with us, whether by volunteering, supporting our programs, or helping sustain the museum. Your involvement will keep these values alive for generations to come. Thank you once again for your continued support, your belief in our mission, and your presence today. And as we remember Mahatma Gandhi today, the most meaningful tribute we can offer is not silence, but participation. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, Manish. Appreciate it. Now, I'd like to introduce Sheru Mukhtar, who is the president and CEO of IM Houston, formerly known as Interfaith Ministries for Greater Houston, a nonprofit serving the Greater Houston area with a mission to bring people from diverse faith communities together in service through signature programs, including Meals on Wheels and refugee resettlement services. Prior to IM Houston, Sheru served for 7 years as CEO at Sir Jobs, where she significantly expanded the organization's reach and impact across industries and throughout Greater Houston. Please welcome Sheru to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. It is such an honor to gather with you today in Shraddhanjali to honor the life and legacy of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Being here at the Eternal Gandhi Museum, which I had the honor of touring just before the program started, it is a place that preserves not just artifacts, but our conscience. We are reminded that Gandhiji is not just a legacy that is confined to the past. It is alive, it challenges us, and it calls us to action. For me, this legacy is deeply personal. Growing up in India, Gandhiji was not a distinct historical figure. We learned about him early, in classrooms, in stories, and through everyday conversations about justice, sacrifice, and service. His teachings shaped my understanding of leadership long before I had the language for it. That true strength lies in humility, that courage is rooted in compassion, and that change begins in how we treat one another. These lessons have stayed with me throughout my life and guide my work even today. I'm especially proud to be a part of IM Houston as its president and CEO. It is an organization that is built on the premise that our shared values of compassion, dignity, service, and justice are stronger than the differences that often divide us. Gandhiji held no formal power, and yet he changed the world through his moral courage. He showed us that ahimsa, nonviolence, is not passive, but transformative, that respect across faiths, cultures, and communities is not idealism, it's a necessity. At IM Houston, these principles guide our work every single day. We bring people of different faiths and communities together, not just to coexist, but to engage, to listen deeply, and to serve side by side. This too is connected to Gandhiji's life and legacy, which teaches us that dialogue is not about winning, but it's mostly about understanding. Peace does not live in institutions, but in human relationships. Be the change you wish to see in the world. It's not a slogan, it's a responsibility. At IM Houston, we see it embodied in our volunteers who deliver meals to our seniors, in refugee families who are rebuilding their lives after being displaced, and in interfaith partners that choose collaboration over silos. I see today's Shraddhanjali as a recommitment to compassion over fear, to dialogue over division, to service over respect. On behalf of IM Houston, I want to thank our board members, Mr. and Mrs. Mahajan, for the invitation to be a part of this very meaningful event. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us here today. Now, I'd like to introduce Madison Pettaway. She's a performance poet, writing workshop instructor, and TEDx speaker. She served as Houston's 2020 Youth Poet Laureate and spent 3 years with the Youth Poetry Team, Metaphor Houston. Her poem, To Be a Black Girl, was published in the New York Times. Madison has performed at venues ranging from Minute Maid Park to the steps of the Texas State Capitol as part of a protest against banning books. Madison joined the museum team in December last year, and we're very happy to have her here at the Eternal Gandhi Museum of Houston. Please welcome Madison.
This is an original piece written by me. This poem is written from Gandhi's point of view. In this poem, he visits us after his death to deliver this message. We are no different from him, and we must continue his work. I call this piece Ordinary Man. I was not born with marble limbs, neither bronze nor granite, which is to say the statues made, the mark I've left behind is far greater than imagined. I was born fleshy, cheeks meant to be pinched by aunties and mothers, ears pulled while being scolded, a young boy, an ordinary man still being molded. I've been called many things outside of my name, troublesome and strange, the honored and the great. But no title outside my name has fit me better than the fact that I am an ordinary man. When I was called to go, it wasn't too different from those marches you've carried on without me. I promise you'll be fine if you remember what I've said. Tell me, my dear friends, you have not forgotten the way the charka spins. We are not born with marble limbs, neither bronze nor granite. We were born full of water and handfuls of salt, which means the salty seas we march to live inside of us. The way we picked up heaps of salt, I'm asking you to pick yourself up. Because even though I am long gone, I've seen the world you live today. And let me be clear, and do not fear, there's more work to be done. There's one more thing before I go, one final truth for you. Inside us all are nesting dolls, reminders of our youth. Inside you'll find I'm still that shy little boy. All throughout the life I've led, I've cried and had upsets. But I didn't let that break me. On the contrary, I bent. I was not born with marble limbs, and neither my friends were you, which means you are the perfect ones to carry on my truth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madison, for that beautiful poem. Now, I would like to welcome Catherine Dempsey, Executive Director of the Eternal Gandhi Museum of Houston, to offer our conclusion and vote of thanks. And thank you for letting me be your MC today.
What a magnificent afternoon. Thank you, everyone. As we come to a close to today's gathering, I'd like to offer heartfelt thanks to those who made this a meaningful and Mahatma Gandhi. First, I'd like to thank all of our performers, speakers, and leaders. Through your words, your music, and your movement, you've helped us to reflect on Gandhiji's life and his enduring message of peace, compassion, and service. I would especially like to extend our deep gratitude to Dr. Ann Chow. Thank you so much for being here today. Whose leadership and commitment to the museum have been instrumental in our growth. We are profoundly thankful for your guidance and your continued support. Thank you, Ann. We are also grateful to our distinguished guests, our community partners, our volunteers, and our board of trustees for your time, your care, and your collaboration in bringing together today's program. Thank you all very much. And to everyone who joined us today, thank you as well. Your presence affirms that Mahatma Gandhi's values remain ever relevant and deeply needed in our world today. As we look ahead, we invite you to stay connected with the museum. Dr. Wani gave us an overview of some events that are upcoming. And we would be honored to welcome you back to the museum for those. Please also follow us on social media. Tag us on your Instagram from your photos from tonight. We would love that. And please sign up for our newsletter to stay informed about upcoming events. Well, there are many ways to support the museum's mission by attending the programs, sharing our work with others, becoming a museum member, volunteering, or making a financial contribution. Your support in all its forms helps us to move closer to our goal of ensuring that every student in Houston gets a chance to come to the museum at least once during their before they graduate from high school. So on behalf of Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston, thank you for your time and your presence. We have one last performance, and after this performance, we invite you to share some refreshments with us in the lobby. Please help us in welcoming, I'm sorry, Raja Bangaji. Accompanying the singers is a tabla maestro and runs Prana Assembly, teaching 50+ kids tabla. We are so fortunate to have you here today. Thank you all.
And just real quick before you start, just a couple of other people to thank you. Thanks. Again, Sulegji, wonderful talk. Thank you so much for coming from Las Vegas and giving us that, what your journey has been. Anne, your husband as well, Albert Chow, we would like to thank you for coming. And then also I'd like to recognize Tina for her masterful MC. Thank you so much. And lastly, he's always behind the scenes, but the coordinator for our program tonight was Mr. Sanjay Jain. Please give him a big round of applause. Thank you so much, and here's Swar Sangam.
Thank you, everyone, for staying for too long. This little one was supposed to be going little early, but because our program was little late, so thank you for being, especially the parents who listened to me and stayed with these little ones. I really appreciate your time and respect for me. Thank you.
It's time to now don't see tonight. Sign it as time. When I see अपना सीना तान मंजुला कार परवाला जाने Hindustani, ऊपर नीचे नीचे पैर चले जीवन की पैर चले जीवन आता है जो पैर किनारे ऊंचे रावत की ऊंचे वतन जीवन की कहानी रोना मौत की निशानी सर पे लाल टोपी रूसी फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी मेरा जूता है जापानी होंगे राजे राजकुमार बिगड़े दिल शहजादे शहजादे हम सिंहासन पर जाएंगे सब जब इरादे जब जब करें इरादे पहचानी या बालों को हैरानी सर पे लाल टोपी रूसी फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तान तेरा जूता है जापान पतलून इंग्लिस्तानी सर पे लाल टोपी रूसी फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तान लाल टोपी रूसी फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तान सर पे लाल टोपी
Mahatma Gandhi's favorite, Raghupati Raghav Rajaram. So feel free to sing and chant. Raghupati Raghav Ragupati Raghav Rajaram Raja Ram, Sita Pavan Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Vajrari Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram. Raja Ram Patit Pavara Par Allah Tero Naam Sanpati Se Bhagwan Shri Par Allah Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 King of the Ram 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 Patit Pavan Sitaram Sitaram Sitaram
Jaya Siya Ram, Jaya Siya Ram, Hare Vallabha Sitaram, Hare Vallabha Sitaram, Hare Vallabha Sitaram.